kind of questions or comments you have. Um, oops. All right. Oops. Nope. All right. Actually, before I do that, let me just a real quick political rant here, if you would. The lady posted, said, "You're Josh, you flop around more than a fish out of water." Because I posted a video yesterday, says, I'm proud of my being a Republican, and you should be too. And then today I posted another video. It's like, man, the Republicans are like the Washington Generals. And she was like, "Oh, yeah, you can't make up your mind." So look, at the end of the day, it's the nature of human emotions. I'm up and down. I'm actually pretty fired up right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not pissed or anything. That I'm behind that now. I'm very much looking forward to 2021 and 2022. The reason 2021 is because those are off-year elections in New Jersey, Virginia, and Kentucky. Maybe I don't think so. Maybe it's Kentucky. Maybe I can't, but definitely Virginia and New Jersey. I don't expect much in either of those states, but I do expect a movement towards the red, which would be good traction for what's going to happen in 2022. I actually think that once we get behind this initial blowback of the Republican Party being pissed at itself and shooting, a circular firing squad, I think we are so much better positioned than we were in 2009 or 1993. A lot of you guys don't remember. We literally thought we were dead to rights back then because we had nothing, nothing. We had no state legislatures to speak of. We had tiny minorities in the Senate and the House, and both those it was nuts. And both, Clinton wasn't all that popular, but Obama sure was. Just no one wanted to be a Republican. And I look, stupid stuff in Capitol. I just don't, frankly, just don't care. I mean, I feel bad for anyone who died. And there should be investigations when cops shoot people. I get all that, but at the end of the day, it's just all right, man. I don't want to hear any left wing crap after what we saw for this summer. I'm not in the mood to hear it. I just won't. So I'm not saying like, oh, I've had 3 people email me saying they're never going to vote Republican again. I said, why? Because of what happened this yesterday. I said, dude, did you think I just fell off the turnip truck? You think I haven't heard that? I'll never vote Republican again. Why? Because they did the thing. I've heard that so many times this Sunday. Either they're full of excrement or they weren't Republicans to begin with. I'll never vote Republican because they embarrass me. Just never Trumpers want to take it out on the loyalists to the Republican Party, of which I am. Anyway, I sitting there and I'm thinking we have a 50-50 split in the Senate. We only have a 5-seat voting majority for the Democrats in the House. We have the state legislatures who are going to redistrict. I mean, my goodness, man. Do you really think there's going to be any massive legislation that's going to go through Congress? That's one thing I was wondering about Puerto Rico. That would be a concern right there. I'm not quite so sure. I wonder how that's going to go with the Black community. I'm not quite all that convinced the Black community is going to love having Puerto Rico as a state. That's the thing when you play identity politics, which the Democrats do. Ultimately, you're pitting one against the other. In fact, I was listening to a guy in England today and talk about how the Muslims were protesting against all the crazy, all the stuff from the left. And we won't say more because I want to be banned on YouTube. The Muslims like, I don't want that crap being taught in my schools. And this guy says the Muslims will be the next group of people to leave the Labor Party. And I said, I like that. That's a good way to look at it because there are conservatives that come from other countries, and at some point they're going to see the left go too far, and that's going to open up the corridor for mainstream. What I liked about another guy I was listening to, guys like libertarian republicanism doesn't work. I actually completely agree with that. Populism works, and the reason I say libertarian Republican won't work is because libertarianism doesn't work. What I'm saying, I wish it did. But for urban voters who are on the fence, entrepreneurs and stuff like that, the libertarian is just dominated by wealthy white suburbanites. It's just all there is to it. The Libertarian Party, that's why they were so big on throwing in with BLM this summer, because they know the libertarians are just white, wealthy suburbanites. It's just, there's not all of them, but the vast majority, college educated, highly credentialed, college educated, white collar, wealthy suburbanites. That's the Libertarian Party for you. Sad, but it is. And that's never going to appeal to making inroads with blacks, making inroads with Latinos and Hispanics. That's not the crap they want to hear. And to some degree, they might be, but it's populism that's going to win. And I literally, truly think that the Republican Party is going to go more populism. There'll be less in your face about law and order, which is good. You see what I'm saying? I think after this stuff in Capitol Hill, they're going to say, and then the stuff with the COVID-19 police restrictions, I think a lot of Republicans are going to be like, I'm not throwing in with that. I don't want to be the law and order party if that's the law and order that I'm expecting. I don't like that at all. And I think that, I tell you, man, I'm pretty excited. I think there's a lot of good stuff here. The Republican Party is stronger now. Not well, stronger in some regard than they were in 2016 when Trump won. Not quite. I mean, because we did have the House, but we had it with rhinos. You know what I'm saying? We did have a Senate, which we lost the Senate, we lost the presidency. We've lost some state legislatures, but this stuff happens all the time in politics, man. In politics, the out of power party wins and off your elections. It happened this year, it happened last year. 2018. It always happens. This year, the Senate went to the Democrats. That should have gone to the Democrats in 2018, but it went into 2020, which frankly is better because we were able to get 2 more years of judges in there. That's fantastic, man. Anyway, I look at the Republican Party. I said, man, we are so much stronger than a lot of people are letting on. You don't understand how bad it was in 2009. It's like, on the back of the National Review, they had advertisements, touting Obama. And the National Review, crazy, man. In 93, like no one wanted to. Again, I read that article from the Washington Post the other day, from 1992, and they're talking about Jack Kemp because he can be a moderate, with the Republican Party, they're too far right, they're blah, blah, and they've been saying this. They said that in 2009, we got to reach out to Hispanics with illegal immigration. And Trump reached out to Hispanics without illegal immigration in terms of, we got to legalize everybody. He said no. And he made huge inroads with Hispanics that a lot of people said never could happen. And it wasn't because he was spouting legalizing illegal immigrants. I'm telling you right now. And the Republican Party would be stupid, and I wouldn't surprise if they did, to consider going that route that they did with John McCain, Lindsey Grahamnesty, Mittens from the old days, where we got to legalize these people so that way we can make inroads with them. No, Trump made inroads going the exact opposite. And that's the lesson we learned. I think enough Republicans are going to do this. So one of the things that we really got to start doing is you really got to start looking at who is running in your state legislation, look, you stop this focus on the Senate and the president. You got to focus on your local legislation. And so I'm going to be looking around this year and seeing who's up for, I can't remember 2022, what the state house is. I have to see what Georgia is up. And I'm sure there are some seats up in Georgia in 2022, and start looking at the vulnerable Democrats that could be taken out. Like we got a lady in the next district over who won her congressional seat, by a sliver. You know what I'm saying? And that she could be taken out. My own rep, Lucy McBath, she won pretty handily this time, which kind of sucks, man. That kind of sucks. She barely squeaked by in 2018. This year, she won a lot more solidly. But 2022, maybe not. And if Republicans are going to take the House, these 2 districts we need to get. We need to get Lucy McBath out of there, and we need to get Carolyn Bordeaux out of there. It got to happen. If we can't get those, we're not going to take back the House. That's all there is to it. So, but then you got to even go down ballot. Who's running for freaking county commissioner? As we can see now, the county commissioner plays a big role in things. Who thought? Secretary of State, public health people. If they run in who would have thought public health authority would have so much power over your life? It's nuts. I just think there's an opening that a lot of people on our side of the aisle have, myself included, previously would not have seen before. Now we've seen it. And we've seen that, you got to hold people accountable, man. And unfortunately, Trump isn't going to do it. Mitch McConnell's not going to do it. Kevin McCarthy's not going to do it. It's got to be you. You got to hold them accountable. And the way you do it is the ballot box. Secondly, only an idiot Republican would ever not push now hard and heavy for voting security. If there's ever been a wake up for anybody on the Republican Party, is that voting security needs to be front and center, or else they're all going to lose. And so if you're wanting to get rich in the politics, like a lot of these guys do, because they do, they watch Steely Joe and he made bank. Him and Hunter made bank without question, without question. Harry Reid made bank. Trent Lott made bank being in politics. Robert Byrd made bank. That's the way it works, man. You go into politics and you get a lot of money. People spend lots of money. And you get to keep your war chest of all the campaign contributions you don't spend. You get to keep it. It's crazy. But be it as it may, that's the nature of the beast. So if you're a Republican legislature or office holder and you want to stay in there because you want that sweet, sweet money from being a political hack, well, hell's bells, man. You better freaking get the vote secure, or else you'll easily be put out to pasture because of an insecure vote, if you know what I'm saying. So no Republican that's got two brains is not going to say, yeah, we need to make sure. And if you're controlling the governorship and you're controlling the House and the Senate, like in New Hampshire, you better get that vote secure, man. That's what they are in New Hampshire. You better make sure you got a clean and fair vote. And looking at Kentucky, I'm just using that. They have a Democratic governor. Once you get that governor back, you better freaking number one thing is make sure that the vote's secure. And no Republican, if any Republican sit on the fence there, it's just is an idiot. That's all there is to it. So, all right, let's see what kind of questions you all have or thoughts or comments here. All right, let me. There we go. All right, cool. Stop that. Oops.